to dampen down the J Field Express. The 2 tries he did score were marvellous. Although I also think the French run was that was the first. I mean, he's not played much, has he, so far? But that was the first time I think I've seen the French of last season.
Watch his try against Wakefield, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
it was the second time. Yeah,
he looked really quick and sharp, I thought, which is, much more like the French that we saw, the excitement machine, as you called him. Looked like he was coming back into his own, I thought, in that clip from the highlights. Anyway,
yeah, there were some arguably soft scores in the first half. I think if you want to pull it apart from a defensive coaching manual point of view, and they did do on the Channel 4 coverage, I think when I watched it back, there was some tries that should have been prevented, although Braley's set up for the Costello try was pretty good.
You get a lot of fatigue, though, in these. The third game is, there's a lot of fatigue involved, so bits of soft defence are only to be expected.
That's it, yeah. You got to say some of that was but what it did mean is prop forwards were scoring tries that getting them off the nudie run. What I would additionally say is, like, maybe some of it was soft defence that played a part in some of the scores, but some of it also was good play, and Salford's pivots played really well. Ackers was very good, Braley was good, and particularly Croft. I thought all of those were impressive ball in hand. They asked questions, they played some good eyes up attacking rugby league, they spotted opportunities, they pulled those opportunities as well for the most part, and they were impressive. Those 3 players in particular, I thought were good, and Vuniyayo was good as well for Salford. He deserved his try.
Yeah. It was good. It was a good game, wasn't it? I mean, it was a good game.
It was entertaining, certainly, and in the balance until the end as well. And I think that ending was really good. I mean, first you throw in the 2 bomb tries by Wigan that we've already covered. Then that should have been scored, no doubt about it. Then there was the Brodie Croft drop goal attempt that was charged down by the markers, but it landed in the hands of, I think, Cross it was, the Salford player, who, rather than take a tackle, he saw an opportunity to try and score. They threw a couple of passes in Salford, but Harry Smith crucially got in the way of that. Wigan were able to get up the other end of the field to bomb another chance. And then I don't blame Escaré for that attempt from the halfway line. Salford definitely had the wind behind them in the second half. You could tell in the stadium there's quite a lot of a breeze, but it definitely was blowing sort of north to south within the ground. So it made it thought it was worth a pop, but after 77 minutes, you'd expect the chase to be slightly tired, and it was. And then Jay Field did stuff that no one else on the field could do. Maybe French, maybe Braley at his very bestest of moments, but not really. It was Field that could do that, and he did it, and it was amazing.
Yeah, if he sees an uneven defensive line, he'll go through a gap.
Yeah, if you give him that chance to sort of
he'll
kick into acceleration mode. Yeah.
Once he's through the hole, he's gone. He's very, very fast.
One of the issues that Salford had chasing him down was Braley was still suffering from a rib injury. John Bateman had put in a massive shot on him on one of the broken down plays in the lead up to that set where they tried the speculative drop goal, and also Taylor failed a HIA for basically getting his head in the wrong position on Cade Ellis. He headbutted his hip. Unfortunately, so that's 2 key players that look like they're going to be out of Salford's next match, and it didn't help them in the final stages of this game either. Although, I don't think either of them would really have made a difference in what Jay Field did, to be honest.
No.
Couple of other bits of news around the Wigan club. Captain Tommy Luluai will be sidelined for around 3 months, 10 to 12 weeks it is, for a high-grade MCL knee injury suffered on Good Friday. I saw him after the game on Sunday, and I said, "How you doing, Tommy? What's it going to be? About 2 months?" And he said, "Oh, about 2 weeks, mate. I'll be right." In a knee brace. Definitely not going to be back in 2 to 3 weeks.
Tough stuff though with Tommy Lulai.
Yeah, and Sam Powell, we talked last week about his grade E charge for the dangerous contact against St Helens, and he's been, of course, found guilty and given a 6-match ban, which I think is about right. It was a very serious offence, and luckily no one was seriously hurt.
Yeah, I think if he had hurt him, he would have got more. That seems to be the way it works.
But yeah, well, certainly the lack of injury is a mitigating point, isn't it? Yeah. Like I said last week, 6 games is the same amount of time that Brett Ferris got when Brett Ferris actually did break Oliver Gildot's back. So 6 games seems fair, doesn't it? Last game of the week, Sunday evening on Sky, we got to see Hull FC against Catalans. It was 14-4 to Hull FC at half-time. They hung on to win 14-8. 9,901, I think, was the crowd, and James Child was the referee. I think Child's been good this year, overall. I'm not saying he hasn't made mistakes, because all referees do, but I think he's managed games pretty well this year. This being another one of them.
Yeah, I find him slightly over fussy on a few too many penalties and so on, but
maybe he's just the only one that sees what your guys are up to.
Nah, I'm not talking about Saints games. I'm talking about generally.
I know.
A little bit over fussy as a referee, for me anyway, for my taste. But but although I think he's done all right.
In terms of the team stats, 2 tries each, but Hull FC made more metres at a better average gain and had 2 more breaks. 2 breaks to Catalans, 1 break, sorry. Only 3 breaks in the game. That might have been a bigger margin if Hull didn't make 3 more errors, so that they hurt themselves a little bit there, ball in hand. What about individuals?
So for the winning Hull side, Jake Connor, not surprisingly, 185 metres. Darnell McIntosh, 180 metres. Danny Horton, 2 try assists, 49 tackles. Jordan Lane, 1 try, 49 tackles, and 13 from marker. And for the losing Catalan side, Arthur Morg, nice to see him back playing, 7 tackle busts, 185 metres. Matthew Laguerre, 5 tackle busts, 168 metres. Tom Davis, 154 metres. Ben Garcia, 55 tackles, 12 from marker, and 108 metres going both ways.
Always in our shadow said, solid hard graft wore the big Frenchies down. Lack of cutting edge kept the score close, but FC victory never in doubt.
Esther says, proper hard game. Both teams tackle really well. Jake's goal kicking won it.
Joshua's granddad said, hard graft from 1 to 17 won this. Forwards showing up well against possibly the biggest pack in the league. They would be if they had Busquets playing, yeah. Jake, poor mistake on the bomb, but his goal kicking was vital. Loss and Mitch in the centres got through tons of work. Reynolds showing up much more without Gale. Good to see a slim down tag back after 241 days.
And Scoots McKenzie says, it wasn't pretty, but we did the basics well and held on in the end. Good performances from 1 to 17. Good to see Tag back again and performing well. Child seemed to want to let the game flow, which stopped it being a real slogathon.
Tom Andrews said, 2 shite teams. Hull lucky they've not had to leave the city all Easter and have bottom of the table at home next week. Don't think either team will be anywhere near honours.
White Pie says, a dour defensive game saw FC come out on top. That's it. There's really nothing else to say other than Connor being a moaning bastard and Reynolds being a grub. In other news, water's wet and the surface of the sun is a bit on the toasty side.
Reynolds is a grub, yeah. When you've got players whose nicknames are Grub and Snake, you'd know what you're getting from them. But Reynolds did play better in this game than he's played recently for Hull FC. I think it's his best performance of the season. He's not had that many games, but the 2 or 3 times I've seen him play this season, this was by far better than what he's put up on the other occasions. So fair credit there. I also agree with John on Carlos Tumavave's performance. I thought he was good in this game, and it's really good for him to be back in the starting lineup at Hull FC, especially because I got a couple of injuries. And frustratingly, Griffin's injury was confirmed after I'd used up all my transfers, getting rid of all the other bloody injured players that I had in my fantasy team. But anyway, there you go. Such is life. Did you watch this one?
Yeah, I did. I enjoyed it.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. I enjoyed the game. I thought it was a proper battle. I don't think it was full of, outstanding skill. But I enjoyed the matchup between the teams, and I don't agree that FC's victory was never in doubt. I thought there were moments where Catalan could have wrestled this game from FC. I thought it was an enjoyable match.
Well, 2 tries each. Goal kicking was the difference, so you can't. I feel I sort of agree with you about the never in doubt was a bit of a strong statement, but to the same token, it did never feel like either side were good enough to break down each other more than they did.
Yeah.
When I'm watching a game as a neutral, I don't care about completion rates. And both coaches and everyone on the Sky and all that talked about completion rates and how high they were and how that made it a good game. I found it was a slow game to watch for me because it was just to cancel each other out without really pushing the envelope to create anything. It's almost like both teams kind of settled for the score.
Yeah,
I don't know. At the end of Easter, maybe because as well we'd seen such a open and entertaining game in the Wigan and Salford game. But actually, Steve Mascord wrote an interesting article on Rugby League long reads on this topic that I was reading today, and I found myself nodding along in agreement about whether you really care about things like the high level of standard of the performances in terms of like strong defences, low error rates, that sort of stuff, or whether you just want to be entertained, and it's finding that balance. We talked about Toulouse need to find that balance. These 2 games on Sunday were different ends of that balance, and I sort of feel like obviously I enjoyed my team winning more, but I enjoyed the open game more than I enjoyed the one where it was high completion rates and very organised defences. Steve Mascord actually was on our friendly rivals 4020's podcast today, so it'll be interesting to listen to that once you've listened to this. Go in and listen to that, because I'll be listening to it once I've recorded this. So there you go. But I guess we have different views of this game then.
Yeah, no, I mean, I enjoyed the game for what it was. I thought it was an interesting match. I didn't see it as being dour, as White Pie said. I thought it was a real tussle, a proper tussle, and I enjoyed it for what it was. And I was pleased that Hull won, because obviously Catalan were a bit closer to us in the league as well. So for me, it was a good result.
A note for Fuad Yaha becoming joint top try scorer in Catalan's history. I think eventually he'll go on to set quite a benchmark there, you would think, over the next couple of seasons or so, of more scoring tries. Loads of bits of news to cover on this game. Josh Reynolds got a grade B other contrary behaviour charge, 1 match penalty notice. To be honest, I've not looked into what that was, but grubs be grubs.
Could be anything.
Yeah. Benjamin Julian got a grade A high tackle, no match penalty notice for him. Obviously, he's been a good boy up to now in the last couple of years. Hull FC have revealed Josh Griffin and Adam Swift are both expected to miss almost a month of action through injury. Griffin's been ruled out with an ankle injury and Swift has a foot issue. Do you want to pick up the next one?
Yes, I will. Hull FC's Brad Fash has been cleared of biting Hull KR forward Elliot Minchella's finger. The RFL said in a statement the tribunal is not satisfied to the relatively high standard of proof that's required to secure a conviction for this sort of serious allegation. Each of the 2 players here, Minchella and Fash, gave fair and credible evidence. Neither one of them could be said to be untruthful. Minchella felt that he'd been bitten, and that was a genuine reaction to coming together of his hand and fasces